Hi everyone, it's Liz here at Out the Breck. Thanks very much for watching this video. Okay, this is a upload to give you all a big update on a big development that's happened here in the situation at Out the Breck. Firstly, I just want to tell you about the document that you can see on the screen. Now what you can see here is a copy of the title plan that is annexed to a document that Network Rail claim is proof of their good title to the land at Out the Breck. The document that Network Rail seeks to rely on is a notice of title that was lodged in the General Sassine Register, the old Scottish Register, in 1996 by Network Rail's predecessor, Railtrack plc. Now, later on in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of this title plan and explain to you why this document and the notice of title that Network Rail seeks to rely on is not proof of good title. But firstly, I want to give you the big update in the development here out the Breck. Now, as you know, there's ongoing civil proceedings between us and Network Rail, which we brought against Network Rail in September 2024 after Network Rail workers, with the help of BTP, the British Transport Police, gained unlawful access onto our driveway by committing criminal damage to our lock. As a result of those actions and wrongdoing by Network Rail, we raised an action at the Civil Court, Wicks Sheriff Court, against them. And those proceedings are ongoing. Now, the Civil Court is the only appropriate legal forum to determine the true ownership of land at Out the Breck, and I would hope everybody watching this would agree with that principle. Because the land here is in dispute, only a court can determine the true ownership of the land. Because Network Rail can't win in court, they're reverting back to their bullying tactics and threatening to use BTP to arrest us if we try and prevent them from doing work on our land that they've got planned this weekend. Okay, so that's the big update. So I'll tell you now what Network Rail are planning. We received a letter from Network Rail telling us that their contractor, CPR, Scotland Limited, was planning to undertake works on the former station platform between the 29th and the 31st of March. We were also told in the letter that ScotRail planned to undertake work on the former station platform on Monday, the 31st of March. Now, I hope you can understand, we were obviously shocked when we received this letter because there's an ongoing civil dispute. And for Network Rail to be making plans like this to work on disputed land, which we own and we maintain that we own, is clearly unreasonable. And it seems like Network Rail and their solicitors have already done the job of the sheriff and decided who owns the land. We wrote to Brodie's, Network Rail's agents, their solicitors who are representing them in this civil case, advising them that there is an ongoing civil case and that it wasn't appropriate for works to be done on land that we own and that we would refuse access because clearly it would be unlawful. Now, just to break down the real issues in this dispute so people don't go off on a tangent or misunderstand, it's twofold really, but it is quite straightforward. We own the title Station House, which is registered in the Land Registry of Scotland under CTH 7726. That land includes the driveway, which has been proved by our surveyor's report that was undertaken in October last year. Our surveyor has confirmed that the driveway is wholly within our registered title. Now, for anybody who's new to this channel, back in 2024, which led to the action that we raised against Network Rail. Network Rail, as I said, came onto our land unlawfully by falsely claiming to own our driveway. Okay, so that's the dispute concerning the driveway, and we've proved that the driveway is within our registered title. And I think most people accept now that it indeed is. And Network Rail do not own our driveway and acted wrongfully in September 2024. Now, the other part of the dispute relates to ownership to an extended area of land that came with the station house title. Station house title used to form part of the larger estate, or the original estate that was called the Lockdew Estate. When Station House was part of the title of the Lockdew Estate, in 1979, the hereditary proprietor of the land at that time, Robin Sinclair, granted solemn ownership rights. Solemn, which means ownership and effectively means you own the land, the soil, was granted with the Station House title to an extended area of land at Altnabreck. That land includes, amongst other land, the former station platform, the land upon which Network Rail have built a path, which they built without the legal right to do so because they don't own that land where the path is, the private level crossing, and other land at Altnabreck. So they're the real issues in dispute here. And we reject Network Rail's claim that this is proof of their good title, which again I'll go into later in the video. Now, Brodie's wrote back to us, the solicitors for Network Rail, insisting that the works this weekend are going to go ahead, and threatened to refer matters to the relevant authorities if we refused access. Now, given Network Rail's track record of misusing the criminal process and being bullies, we understood that the term relevant authorities meant BTP, the British Transport Police. As you know, the BTP were used last year by Network Rail to bully their way onto our land. The position is somewhat different now. I mean, it was the same then because BTP don't have any jurisdictional power to deal with a civil matter, and they certainly do not have the power or authority to adjudicate on matters of land ownership, which is what BTP did last year, including their senior command team. BTP do not have jurisdictional authority in this situation, but yet Network Rail are reverting to their old tactic by threatening us with the BTP again when there's an ongoing civil case, and the appropriate place to deal with this dispute lawfully is at the civil court. We wrote to BTP warning them about their conduct if they were to be contacted by Network Rail to assist them this weekend in gaining access unlawfully to our land yet again. BTP have not responded to us, which we're not surprised about. But everything's in writing and nobody can hide behind Network Rail. So that is the update that I wanted to give everybody. It was to update you on what Network Rail is trying to do to us again. Network Rail is bullying us again. They are acting in the usual manner of threatening, bullying and oppressive tactics to try and get their own way, because they know they don't own the land here and they're not able to prove that at the civil court, so they're reverting to using the BTP again to build on our land unlawfully. It's unacceptable. Now, going to this notice of title here, I want to explain to people why this, in our submission, our claim, does not constitute a good title. This area of land shown coloured red was the area of land which is also known as the subjects that was constituted by the Notice of Title 1996. As you can see, it's quite a wide area of land. Fast forward to 2024, with the present day, this area of land is no longer owned by the railway company Network Rail. Most of this land is now registered to the forestry company called Caledonia Forest Land Investment Limited. And their title for this land, which neighbours ours here on the west, and the quarries down here, and it's the old goods yard on both sides, their title is registered in the Land Register of Scotland under CTH 5589. If anybody wants to take a look at that or ask us, we can post a copy of that on our community page if you want to take a closer look. This plan also includes land that is registered to us under title number CTH 7726. So this area of land includes land that's now registered to two different owners, but yet Network Rail are claiming that they own this land, the subjects of this land. Now, anybody who knows about property law will know that for somebody to own land, they need to have title, habeal, to include the land that they claim to own. Now, clearly from this title, Network Rail cannot show what area of land they purport to own. Where are their legal boundaries? When most of the land is now registered to two different owners, where are the boundaries? Where's their... It's just preposterous that they're even claiming that this is proof of good title. Furthermore, you might not be able to see here, but there's an area of land at the front of Station House that forms part of Station House in this plan, which also forms part of the old station platform that's out with this plan altogether, but yet Network Rail claim to own the former station platform. This title plan and notice of title, it should have been laughed out of court. Our surveyor is taking a look at this title himself, and he said to us that it's unsurveyable. It's lacking so much specification and detail regarding measurements. And he even said to us, you can't even plot it on the OS grid to know exactly where in the world it is. I mean, that's how bad it is. But this is the position we're in at the moment, and we really thank everybody for supporting us in this. We'll keep you updated about what happens this weekend, to keep you fully updated, because the mainstream news won't give you the truth, and the only coverage that they do on Out in the Breck Station is always in favour of Network Rail's position. But if you want the truth, we ask you to continue watching this channel, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. But as it stands, we own the land here, Network Rail don't, and they're trying to fraudulently acquire land that is owned by us. Okay guys, thanks very much, bye bye.